So there was a story that broke earlier in the year that would be unbelievable if it wasn't America. A police officer was arrested under suspicion of mass shooting. Yeah. Not only just random mass shooting, of course not. He was looking for black people. Yeah, so police officer was looking for black people. He was going to commit a mass shooting. Arrested.
Police arrested a man who they say was planning to commit a mass shooting at a festival in New Orleans, and we're learning he's a former police officer. Investigators say Christopher Gillum of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, was planning to carry out that mass shooting at the festival and then planned to get shot by police. As I mentioned, he was a police officer in Chapel Hill for more than a decade. In this case, he was taken into custody without incident at a hotel in Destin, Florida. But law enforcement recovered a handgun and about 200 rounds of ammunition from his hotel room. The mayor of New Orleans said this level of coordination extended to law enforcement in multiple states, from North Carolina to Florida. And now the process is extradition to Louisiana, where he's wanted on making terroristic threats.
Did y'all hear about that veteran police officer that planned to shoot up a New Orleans jazz festival to take out as many black people as possible? No? Well, okay, let's get into it then. So 45-year-old Christopher Gillum, a former North Carolina cop, was arrested just before he could drive from Destin to New Orleans with a handgun and about 200 rounds of ammunition. Now, his target was a New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, which draws large crowds of people each spring. Now, apparently he planned to carry out a mass shooting targeting black people, then die in a shootout with the police. He was tracked down and arrested at a hotel today. Now, apparently this guy had been a law enforcement officer for more than a decade, including a 15-year stint with the Chapel Hill Police Department, and then he went to work at the Carolina Beach Police Department and then the Orange County Sheriff's Office until 2025. He even won Officer of the Month at one point. Now, his family did report him missing just a day before his arrest.
Of course he did. Of course he did, man. This is when you hear some of these stories about police, I know a lot of you guys live in America. This is third world stuff. This is third world scary stuff.
Telling officials that he had a history of self-harm, owned a gun, and had recently made threats to harm black people. However, because no specific victim had been named, the police in North Carolina said they had no legal grounds to detain him before he crossed state lines. Now, after an initial welfare check, Gillum was placed under surveillance. He was detained and held until a warrant for terroristic threats arrived from Louisiana. He is now sitting in the Okaloosa County Jail awaiting extradition.
Authorities in Florida say a North Carolina man is in custody after they thwarted his alleged plan to carry out a mass shooting at a festival in New Orleans. The Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office identified the suspect as Christopher Gillum of Chapel Hill, who is a former police officer. He was arrested without incident Wednesday evening at a hotel in Destin. Investigators had used the county's flock camera system to track his movements into the area after learning he was in their jurisdiction. According to the Sheriff's Office, Gillum was traveling to New Orleans with the intent to carry a mass shooting at a festival and then die by suicide by cop. Deputies recovered a handgun and approximately 200 rounds of ammunition from his hotel room. Authorities have not said which festival he was allegedly intended to target, though the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival is scheduled to begin Thursday. Family members told authorities Gillum may have been carrying a Glock handgun and had recently made troubling statements, including threats to harm black people. A vehicle registered to Gillum was detected multiple times Tuesday by license plate readers in Okaloosa County, investigators said. Deputies later located him. Authorities said he told officers he planned to drive to New Orleans on Thursday morning. Gillum is being held in the Okaloosa County Jail as a fugitive from justice pending extradition to Louisiana. He faces charges of terroristic threats in Orleans Parish. Louisiana authorities are leading the investigation.
As you can see, a bunch of different people reported on this. This was actually earlier in the year. He's been released. Yeah, so he's been released. Bro was itching, feeding to shoot up some black people. They detained him. They had him in custody. And now he's just kind of been let go.
Just into our newsroom, the man accused of planning that mass shooting we told you about, targeting black people at a festival in New Orleans right around the time of Jazz Fest. Well, that man was quietly released from custody back in June. We're just finding that out. His name, if you can recall, is Christopher Gillum. And you remember we showed you the video of him being arrested in Florida back in April. That's when authorities say that they found him with a handgun, also hundreds of rounds of ammunition while he was headed toward Louisiana. That picture right there, as a matter of fact. Booked on terrorizing charges, but court records show that the state refused that charge back in July. The Louisiana Attorney General...
Why? Oh man, this is nasty, man. You know, when you look at the discrepancies in the legal system in America, it's just nasty. You know, they'll find reasons to give 14-year-old black boys life in prison. They'll find it. They don't have to do it, but they'll do it because they can. They're refusing charges. Refuse. Just no.
General's office says several jurisdictional issues complicated the case, including that the threat reportedly made by Gillum happened in North Carolina, and he did not enter Louisiana until after his arrest. So translation, doesn't seem as if he committed a crime here, so it's hard for them to charge him here. Gillum's family has since taken him to a treatment facility out of the state. This according to the Attorney General's office, but no doubt a headline we're looking into because a lot of people want to know what happened here.
An officer plotted a mass shooting with the intentions of killing as many black people as possible, and he won't be charged. Let's get into it. So Christopher Gillum, a former North Carolina cop, was arrested in Florida back in April after he got caught traveling toward New Orleans to carry out a mass shooting at a festival. Now, Christopher had recently made threats to harm as many black people as possible, and when he was arrested at a hotel in Florida, the police found a handgun and over 200 rounds of ammunition. Now, he was supposed to be committed to a psych ward, but left the state prior to that happening. And the police say there was no grounds to arrest him for the threats that he made about us because, according to the police, there was no victim. Now, authorities believe that Christopher planned to target the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, which was taking place around the same time, especially around the same time as his arrest, and it also attracts thousands of people. However, authorities never publicly confirmed that the festival was his intended target. Louisiana State Police also said at the time that there was no known direct threats against any festival. A lot of people are wondering if cops could have stopped him sooner. His family reported him missing and told the police about his threats towards black people and that he had a gun. But North Carolina police say they considered involuntary psychiatric commitment, but said they couldn't establish legal grounds to detain him. Now, when Florida deputies initially located him during a welfare check, they allowed him to continue traveling. He was arrested later that day after Louisiana authorities obtained a warrant. Christopher was charged in Louisiana in May with terrorizing, but in June, a grand jury declined to indict him on the state terrorism charge, citing insufficient evidence. And a few days ago, he was released, and his attorney told the...
A grand jury. There's a saying about grand juries, about how easy it is. But not in this case. What's the saying? Someone in the comments let me know. But not in this case, of course.
Associated Press that Christopher is not facing charges in any other jurisdiction. Christopher, who previously worked as a police officer and sheriff's deputy in North Carolina, is therefore not facing criminal charges over the alleged plot. Now, Christopher has a lengthy history in law enforcement. He was a sworn Chapel Hill police officer from 2004 to 2019. He later worked for North Carolina Beach in the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and he went back to work at the Chapel Hill Police Department before he resigned, and then he was an Orange County Sheriff's deputy in September 2025. Right? This is crazy. He's free. Watch out. This is Monique with the Black Belt Daily signing out.
What a joke. Apparently you can plan to go shoot a whole bunch of black people and then just walk because the grand jury declined to indict him. So back in April, family members of Christopher Gillum notified authorities that he had gone missing after having expressed recent threats to harm black people. Using flock camera technology, police located and arrested him in Destin, Florida. They also recovered a handgun and about 200 rounds of ammunition. He was allegedly on his way to New Orleans from North Carolina to carry out a mass shooting at the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, which attracts hundreds of thousands of people each year. He was later extradited to Louisiana and charged with a state terrorism offense. However, more recently, a Louisiana grand jury declined to indict him, finding there was not enough evidence to charge him. He was then quietly released. According to Louisiana Attorney General spokesperson Lester said he isn't facing additional charges. He also said there were several jurisdictional issues surrounding the case because the threat reported to a family member occurred in North Carolina while he never entered Louisiana. So this wasn't strangers or random witnesses that told a story on him. It was his family members letting them know what he planned to do, and I guess that still wasn't evidence enough. And now he's free.
I'm going to insert some videos here, right? I found them the other day. Some of the people who are police in America, But then there'll be people that will sit down and go, no, there's no systemic nothing. There's no systemic nothing. You got the KKK in the police force. You got active, racist policemen patrolling the streets.
Following me intentionally. And he's waiting for a reason to pull me over. So it's coming. See, here we go. I told you. Why'd you pull me over?
Why did I pull you over?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned, and I'm recording this for my own safety right now.
I pulled you over because, number one, you almost ran the stop sign up there, so you caught my attention.
But I made sure to stop, and you'll notice...
Go down because I can't hear you clearly.
My top is off. You're making allegations. You can't hear me with the top off the car. That doesn't make sense. I am concerned that you're following me and trying to find something.
Following you.
Right.
Yeah,
So because of the stop sign?
Why did you make a big loop for no reason?
Maybe I forgot something at home. Why is the reason for the stop?
Suspicious activity.
Suspicion's not a crime, though.
Last day I can say nigga without getting shot.
1, 2, 3, nigga!
Now this is Deputy Slayball. These are the type of people they like to hire for law enforcement. This guy beat and tased a black woman because he ordered her to take her breast out so she can take a picture of it. Now I made a video asking why gang members don't beef with white supremacy. And one of the comments under my video was white supremacy doesn't exist. I can't believe this shit.
I can say nigga without getting shot.
1, 2, 3, nigga!
I wonder what would entice an individual like this to work for Portage County Sheriff's Office. It wouldn't be the mentality the sheriff himself promotes, would it?
Now, this is definitely the type of behavior that the sheriff of that department promotes. This is Sheriff Bruce Zachowski. This is the type of things he promotes on his Facebook. Y'all notice those 3 Ks? Or I'm bugging. Here he is on his free time at some kind of rally. And what kind of rally that is. The woman was no criminal. She was a college student, a college track star at that, brought championships home for her college. She was visiting her sister, and there was no reason for this cop to physically assault her, sexually assault her, and then tase her after that. This is fucking bullshit.
And it's so weird how the law works, man. You know, this guy only didn't commit a mass shooting because they stopped him before he did it. And that's okay. But you get 3 strikes. You know, we see you carrying a certain amount of weed 3 times and you get life in prison.
A Plainfield man has been charged with yelling a racial slur at a 9-year-old boy. This happened on Saturday near 1400 West Jefferson Avenue in Naperville. 29-year-old Jeffrey Feigenbaum is now charged with 2 felony counts of hate crime. DuPage County prosecutors say the boy was building a fort with friends and a girl allegedly damaged it. When the boy knocked on her door, Feigenbaum allegedly came out of the home using the slur, pushed him, and then threw his bike.
Everybody meet 29-year-old Jeffrey Feigenbaum, the racist, white supremacist who decided to call a 9-year-old a racial slur and attack him while throwing his bike. Now, I know y'all wondering, how could this occur? Well, let me give y'all the backstory. The little 9-year-old and his friends was building a fort. Mr. Jeffrey's girlfriend's daughter decided to destroy the fort. So the little boy decides to go knock on Jeffrey's girlfriend's door to inform them of what just happened. Guess who comes storming out the door, attacking the little boy, calling him a racial slur, then throwing his bike. Mind you, he was just coming to tell them that his girlfriend's daughter just destroyed their fort. Simply doing what a child's supposed to do. Instead of taking action into his own hands, he's going to go tell an adult like a child's supposed to do. And this ignorant fucks decide to attack him, calling him a racial slur, also throwing his bike. Like, this type of shit pisses me off. Because why don't these ignorant racist fucks never have this much smoke for a man, a black man? Always our woman and our kids, never for the man. You know, As much as I'm mad at this situation, I can't be that pissed off at the ending result, because Mr. Jeffrey was locked up for a hate crime and also for attacking a 9-year-old while calling him racial slurs. Welcome to DuPage County, Illinois, where they don't fuck around. It's about time they start teaching these ignorant fucks a lesson. Control your fucking kids. Control your mouths. Stop screaming out racist shit. And yes, justice was served. They locked his ass up for a hate crime.
Bro don't even know it yet, but he might become a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? He plays his cards right. He might become a millionaire. And that's the dark reality. We can't logically understand these people because they are completely illogical. They hate in their heart. We can't fathom it. Even someone like me, who I despise racist, it's reactionary. These people hate black people for no reason. But yeah, you guys drop your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, man. Jesus.
This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the ozone. I just can't let this go. This liquor got me in my